Steak's my favorite.
Amazing. Amazing. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
man.
I'm gonna hit record right now, and we're gonna get the party rolling. We're doing a LinkedIn Live,
All
and
right.
we're gonna talk about how to.
Let's promote the Sales Confidence Lab, baby. Come on.
Let's do it. All right, welcome everybody. This is Joe Apfelbaum, CEO of Evie AI, and with me I have my sales trainer, the ultimate, the best, the most incredible sales trainer, the sales confidence architect, Jeff Goldberg. Jeff, thank you for being here. Round of applause.
Joe, thank you for having me, Joe. I'm so excited to be speaking with you. Always.
Yeah. Exciting,
I just
exciting,
wish you were a little
exciting.
higher energy.
Yeah, I know. I got to take it to the next level. I'm actually coming out with a new book called High Energy Prompting that I finished during my birthday. I was telling you about
Woof.
my birthday. So I finished a new book called High Energy Prompting. I want to send you the manuscript so you could look at it and you can tell me what you think and maybe write an endorsement for the inside of the book. That would be lovely.
I
So,
would love to see it and would be happy to write an endorsement. And that sounds like something that's truly needed because everybody today, I mean, with AI changing by the millisecond almost, everybody needs to be a prompt engineer. And I think that having a great resource like that would be invaluable to sales teams and to everybody.
okay, so talk to me about your how do people sell? I mean, people are very confused about selling. A lot of people are getting on the phone and
Poorly.
they're botching. They're botching their sales. No, seriously, they're botching their sales. They're not doing a good job. You've been teaching sales for north of 30 years. You're an expert at sales. As a matter of fact, you said 50 years?
Been in sales 50 years. Yeah.
Insane. As a matter of fact, I was literally having dinner last night with someone, Sarah, who took me out for my birthday. And we were sitting down and we were talking about her sales strategy. And she was like, you know what helps me close deals? And I said, what? What helps me close deals? Remember that guy, that sales trainer that you have? His name is Jeff or something like that. I said, you mean Jeff Goldberg? One of my favorite people in the world, Jeff Goldberg? She's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what he told me? You know what he told me? I was like, well, what did he tell you? He told me that when you get someone on the phone and you make your pitch, you just shut up. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you just shut up. You speak up and shut up, and you don't continue talking, and you just silence. You don't say anything. And I was like, yes, I remember him teaching us that is such a great strategy. And she's like, you know what else he told me? He said, use the following phrase. In my professional opinion. I was like, yes, the smart thing to do. And then we had such a great time. And you were there with us. You were there at dinner. We were enjoying a dinner together, and you were there with us. So thank you for not just helping me, but helping my clients, supporting my clients and making a difference for them. She's done hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue, raised millions of dollars for her business, and it's because of the strategies you taught.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that with me. It makes me feel really good to know that, I've worked with tens of thousands of salespeople, professional and non-professional, all over the world. And it always warms my heart to hear somebody say, I tried that thing and it worked, or I did that thing and it got me a sale. Look, I'm very blessed in that, of course, I get to make a nice living, which we all need to do. But I truly believe that what I do changes people's lives. I get to help people feed their families, help their companies be successful, and it's incredibly rewarding. And like you said, two things that she remembered that I said. There's nothing that I share that's fancy. There's nothing that I share that everybody cannot do. Everybody can do what I teach because I teach the fundamentals. I teach a very basic way of selling that works. Yeah, I still read most of the books that come out on sales, and a lot of them are filled with fancy tricks, I'll call them, closing tricks or presenting tricks, pitching. A lot of it, I'll read it and I'll go, this kind of makes sense, except nobody's going to be able to do it. You have to be a professional, an expert just to be able to implement something like that. And what I teach in the Sales Confidence Lab is here's a sales process that you can use that's not pushy, that's not aggressive, that's not even salesy. It's simply about having better conversations. Because as you and I have talked many times about, Joe, it's all about having a great conversation and mostly letting the other person do the talking. That's why the shut up is such an important part of the advice I give. Salespeople think they get paid to talk. They don't. You and I get paid to talk when we're professional speakers, but when I'm selling and when you're selling, we don't get paid to talk. We get paid to ask questions and listen. And that's what I teach people how to do, how to have better conversations that result in more people saying, yes, I'd like to do business with you,
There was
because that's my belief.
there were two people that I recently got to know. We became friends, but they cold called me. They cold called me out of the blue. One of them cold called me, but I was giving her a hard time, so she gave me with her friend that was next to her. And you know what? The first thing I asked her, and she did a terrible job. They need to hire you ASAP. That company's the company's called Aflac. Have you ever done business for them?
I know Aflac well. I've spoken to them before, but they have training a training department, and they never actually brought me in. That they didn't
They
want
don't.
to pay.
They have no training department. They have no one training their people. Their salespeople suck. Anyway, so she called me up, and then she's like, "I'd like to book a meeting with you to review our insurance." And I was like, "I'm not interested in reviewing the meeting, but I have a question for you." And she's like, "What? What's your name?" And I'm like, "What's your name?" And then she tells me her first name, and I was like, "What's your last name?" She tells me her last name. I Google her, not existent. She's not on LinkedIn. She's not anywhere. And I was like, "You don't exist to me. You're a cyber criminal. Like, I don't know who you are. You could be someone in India with a voice changer. I don't know who you are." She's like, "What? I'm a real person. Like, I'm telling you right now. I just graduated from university. I'm working for this company. I'm real." And I was like, "I don't think you're real if you're not on LinkedIn." She's like, "I'm gonna do my LinkedIn." I was like, "You're gonna do your LinkedIn. You're calling me. You're calling a CEO of a company, and you want me to trust you when you're calling me from a random number. I have no idea who you are. You got to be on LinkedIn." And she's like, "I'm on Instagram. I'll slide into your DM right now." I was like, "Okay, we're going there now." I was like, "If we're going there, then you're coming with me tonight to the Brandy Library." And then she puts me on the phone with her friend, and her friend's a little more reasonable because they started calling me feisty or whatever. And I was like, listen, you're going to come. She's like, "If we come to the Brandy Library, would you book a meeting with us?" I was like, "No, I'm not going to book a meeting with you just for the sake of booking a meeting. I want to get to know you, build a relationship, and maybe even teach you how to properly have a conversation and get your LinkedIn set up, you know?" People don't
Yeah,
get that. They
absolutely.
don't get that you have to ask questions and build relationships, and it's actually leaving a lot of opportunity on the table. At one point, she said, "Don't waste my
Yeah.
time." Like, who calls somebody and says, "Don't waste my time"? You called me.
Exactly right. I actually did work with one Aflac guy. I was on a coaching basis. I took him from a $300,000 income to a $500,000 income in 12 months.
That's insane.
So I understand Aflac. It's a great company, by the way. And I think almost everybody should have the insurance. It's fantastic. But just like so many salespeople, professional and non-professional, they just were never shown how to sell properly, not how to prospect properly, how to sell properly. And when a company, and this has nothing to do with Aflac as far as I'm concerned, because I like the company, but so many companies hire salespeople and say, "Okay, go get them," but they never train them. And I know this sounds self-serving, but training is essential. LinkedIn training is essential. Sales training is essential because we're all selling all the time, and most people just don't know how to do it. Nobody goes to college to go into sales. I didn't. I fell into it by accident. It just so happened.
Do they even have a course in college that you can get
There,
into?
there are some courses now. Some colleges do have sales courses now. They certainly didn't when I was in college, but some do. But the challenge there is typically they're taught by professors, not actual people who actually sold. It's like it's great to write a book about something and say, "Yeah, this should sell. These are good ideas." But if you haven't done it, I'm not buying your book. So I'm not saying that there probably aren't great professors out there teaching sales. Maybe there are. I just don't know. But there are a few colleges that do that.
You're a genius when it comes to sales, and people pay you a lot of money to spend an hour with you. You're very expensive. You're not a cheap coach. You're a very expensive premium coach that really big companies hire you to train their entire team, and they pay you tens of thousands of dollars. But a little birdie told me a secret. They said that Jeff Goldberg will coach you for 24 hours over 2 weeks, work with you, support you, guide you, give you all of his knowledge so that you become sales genius and go from wherever you are now to doing hundreds of thousands of dollars because you upgraded your skills. Is this a fact? Is this what you're doing? Are you giving away 24 hours of your precious time for an individual to work with you over 2 weeks for just pennies?
Not quite. It's 24 hours over 3 months. It's 2 hours a week
Wow.
for 12, for
It's even
12
it's
weeks.
even more doable. It's even more doable because if you had to do 24 hours in 2 weeks, you'd be spending your whole day learning, but you get to spend 3 months with Jeff Goldberg and you get to learn all your little secrets. How many tips do you drop? How many pearls of wisdom do you drop over your 24 hours of like infusing your DNA into people?
it's everything I know about selling in those 3 months. We're going not only selling, but we're going through the mindset of selling because I originally devised this program for what I call the accidental seller. It turns out it's great for professional salespeople too, but the accidental seller to me is like a coach. I think this is perfect for coaches, consultants, solopreneurs, small business owners who didn't go into business to sell. If you're a relationship coach, you introduced me to a relationship coach, or wasn't she a sex coach or something like that
Yeah, yeah,
once?
yeah.
Yeah. She did not go into sex coaching to sell. She went in to help people with their sexual challenges. But she has to sell. Everybody has to sell. You could be the best coach in the world, but if you can't sell, you're going to starve. So I created this program primarily for that type of person. But again, professional salespeople are profiting from it too. So it's we're covering everything from the mindset of selling to the actual skill sets. How do you open up a relationship the first time you meet somebody and establish rapport with them? How do you ask questions and what are the right questions to ask? And how do you ask them in a way that doesn't seem like an interrogation? How do you make sure that you understood everything properly? How do you make a presentation where you're sharing what you can do for somebody in a way that they're going to be able to listen to, but it doesn't sound like bragging, it sounds like helping? How do you tell good stories that help people get past brain science, which brain science says when people are making a buying decision, the brain is telling you, no, don't do that. And it gives you all the reasons not to. And we as sellers have to tell good stories to help people get past brain science so that they can change their mind and choose to become our customer. How do you close objections and rebuttals? How do you cold call? How do you use LinkedIn? Not like you would, of course. You're the expert on that, but I talk a little bit about that. Getting referrals, networking. I take them from how do you get appointments to how do you actually sell in 12 short weeks. Now, I want to make one thing clear. I don't want anybody to be misled. It's not me working one-on-one with one person for 24 hours over 3 months. It's with a group of up to 20. Like right now, we've got 6 people registered for January 6th, so I can have another 14 because I want the group to stay small so
Wow.
I can touch everybody.
Congratulations. Congratulations. You're almost sold out and you got 2 weeks left. So, whoever's listening to this right now, this isn't a once in a lifetime opportunity. Jeff Goldberg is not doing this again. And if you want to be able to get on January 6th, you can go to salesconfidencelab.com and you could sign up right now, grab your seat. In the first week, he's going to teach you mindset. On the second week, he's going to teach you how to build rapport. In the third week, he's going to teach you the 3 traits of great sellers, features versus benefits, and developing your brief commercial. In the fourth week, he's going to teach you presenting, closing, and asking for money without feeling icky. In the fifth week, he's going to teach you pre-planning, meeting, post-planning, follow-up, and stop getting ghosted. In the sixth week, he's going to teach artificial intelligence in sales, which I'm really excited about. In the seventh week, he's teaching networking essentials. The eighth week, he's going to teach active listening and confirmation step. In the ninth week, he's going to teach you how to negotiate like an FBI negotiator. On the 10th week, he's going to teach you one-on-one role play, feedback, coaching in the sales process with Jeff. And then
Actually, that's not me teaching them. In the 10th week, we don't have a meeting that week. Everybody gets a one-on-one with me where we're role playing and I'm coaching them on. So everybody in that week does get private coaching.
wow, that's incredible. Week
And then
11.
we go on to week 11. Yep.
Week 11, you guys get back into professional prospecting part 1. And week 12, you guys wrap up with professional prospecting part 2 and putting it all together. Wow, this is an incredible journey around the globe of actually closing deals. And by the way, this is where confidence comes from. Confidence comes from
Bingo.
people actually knowing. Is that what you were going to say?
Yes, confidence comes from knowing what to say and what to do. If you're winging it, look, there's an old saying, amateurs wing it, professionals plan. So if you want to be a professional salesperson, whether you're a really professional salesperson or an accidental seller that has to sell, you just need the confidence. And the way you get confidence is by training. How does somebody get confident on LinkedIn? By figuring it out over years? They could, maybe, or they can sign up for one of your many fabulous courses, several of which I've taken, which in just a few I think I took one with you like in 6 hours about Sales Navigator. And suddenly I'm like, oh, all those things that I was trying to figure out on my own, I could have saved a lot of time. All I had to do was invest a little bit of money and boom, I got what I need. And it gave me the confidence to use Navigator professionally. Same thing here. I'll take people in just 12 short weeks, 3 short months, and you will have the confidence because you know what to say. You're not going to walk into sales call going, what do I do next? How do I handle this? How do I get this person talking? How do I find out what I need to know? Because that's not the way most people sell. The way most people sell, as you know, Joe, it's, hey, Joe, so glad to meet with you today. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for it. Let me tell you why Jeff Goldberg and Associates is the greatest training and coaching firm in the world. And then you vomit all over them. Well, that's called a product dump, and it doesn't work. Now,
Right.
I'm actually going to take that back. It does work because that's how most salespeople sell. It doesn't work well. The way I teach will
Wow.
get you more. It's not like I'm going to teach people how to sell who don't know how to sell, and they're suddenly going to become sales geniuses overnight. But what it's going to do is it's going to help you sell more than you would if you just did it the way most people do.
Wow.
Most people are just pitching. You even used the word before, pitching. It's not about your pitch. Here's the three things that all great sellers have. One, they're the best question askers every single time. Two, they're the best listeners. And most salespeople, and this is a technical sales training term, most salespeople suck at listening. They're horrible listeners.
I
And then
love
they
it.
have to tell good stories. Yeah.
I love it.
And
I
then they
love
have to
it.
tell good stories. So I teach all three.
And this the non-salesperson guide to selling with confidence, that's what the Sales Confidence Lab is about.
Exactly.
Why did you call it a Sales Confidence Lab?
Because in speaking to salespeople, I found out that they lack confidence. And in fact, this is interesting. I'm sure you've had the same experience. You know, you'll work out with a company for a while on an engagement, and when the engagement's ending, you debrief with them. What went well? What could I have done better? Things like that. And I was working with a company about got to be about 9 years ago now. They manufacture load balancers, which are computer hardware, and big company, lots of salespeople, lots of managers. I'm sitting with all the management team and the VP of sales and the SVP of sales after everything's over, just wrapping up. And what'd you like? What didn't you like? What could I have done better? And to a person, each manager said, and I was surprised by this, by the way, because I'd never thought of it before, but each of them said, oh, what I like best is our salespeople now have more confidence. And it never occurred to me in all the time I'd been doing this that what I teach is salespeople to have more confidence. So that's where this
Wow.
came from.
How do you know if somebody has confidence or doesn't have confidence? This is a great question for artificial intelligence, but what would you ask AI as a sales confidence expert? What are the questions that you would ask AI to help you understand if somebody has confidence or doesn't have confidence?
I don't think it's something that you have to ask. It's when you're dealing with a salesperson, actually, it's not just salespeople. You can tell when somebody's confident and when somebody isn't. Like you and I have both been on the comedy stage. You can see when a new person walks up on the stage and they're all nervous and their hands are shaking, they're gripping the mic with a death grip, and they step over the audience while they're laughing and start their next joke. They don't have the confidence yet. And others, they walk on the stage and they just own it. It's the
Yeah.
same thing in sales.
Is it
Sometimes you get a person, they just don't feel like, they don't even feel like they believe in what they're selling. And there's no confidence there. And other times you can get, wow, this person really loves what they do and they know how to help me. I had a meeting the other day, Joe, which I expected to be a 20-minute meeting. It turned out to be a 45-minute meeting with a guy who's the owner of an agency for Mass Mutual, about 200 salespeople working for him. Now, why did the sales meeting go long? Because initially his assistant said he's not going to give you more than 15 minutes. I said, okay, I'll take 15 minutes, but I promise you it's going to be a longer meeting. He smelled my confidence. He was asking great questions for me about what I could do. And it turns out after I left, which I didn't know at the time, but he spoke to his underlings who I'm going to be meeting with in a couple of weeks and said, I think we can use this guy on a regular basis. I think we should probably have him on a retainer. You vet him out, but I think we need this guy because my confidence shone through. Why? Because I truly believe in what I do. I know that what I do makes a difference in people's lives. So I don't know that there's a question I would ask AI about how do you tell if a salesperson is confident. If they hold themselves a certain way, if they speak a certain way, confidence just comes through.
I think
Brad Pitt does not seem unconfident when he's on screen.
he doesn't seem unconfident at all. And you yourself, you have such a level of confidence when you speak. It's almost like you're flinging yourself at the camera. It's almost like you have so much like enthusiasm and you know what you're talking about and you're not overthinking and you're just with the program. And I feel like a lot of people are missing that. And it's not because they're not good or they don't have good juju, they don't have good juice, they don't have good mojo. It's because I think they're doubting themselves. And I think it's because they don't get the skills to be good at sales and they don't have a framework to work off. And if only you took the Sales Confidence Lab and you had this framework by working with with Jeff for 24 hours and going deep into his mind, and mind you, it's just a few $100 a month for a couple of months to just kind of get everything situated in your mind where you start showing up prepared. Procrastination is saved by preparation, and preparation H is a whole different conversation. But my question to you, Jeff, is if you could instill like, how does somebody feel when they finish the 12 weeks? That's what I want to know. Like, how does somebody show up to a sales meeting once they leave the Sales Confidence Lab?
Yeah, the amazing thing is excuse me, for most of them, it didn't even take to 12 weeks. I've got testimonials on the website, the landing page, where if people go to salesconfidencelab.com, they'll see. One is a woman who, after 3 weeks, told me she felt completely changed. She's a mindset coach, brilliant, wonderful woman. 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Our friend High Goldstuff.
Oh,
Uh,
I saw his video on the landing page.
yep. For 3 weeks, he's closing at 25% better than he was previously. That was only 3 weeks into the program. So by the end, everybody was like, I feel better. I feel more confident. I'm having better conversations with people. I'm closing more business. Look, you're a confident guy, Joe. I'm a confident guy. Let's not try to fool anybody. We both are. And I had very high expectations for this first program. The testimonials I've received and the results that were reported to me blew away any expectation that I have. And I had pretty high, look, I believe in me, but I was blown away how well it went. And I'm really excited about the next one, which, as you mentioned, starts January 6th.
Wow, this is incredible. And you're 100% right. You can tell the difference when somebody picks up the phone or walks into a meeting or has a conversation or is on Zoom if they're actually confident or they're actually doubting themselves. And does it have
It's
to do
almost like you can smell it.
You could smell it. Does it have to do with like self-esteem of like personal development self-esteem? Because you're teaching actual really, really good stuff related to sales training. Does the person also need to go to Tony Robbins or to Landmark? And I know you did the previous thing to Landmark called Est or whatever. You've been in the personal development world for like forever. What does it really have to do more with that, or is just learning the sales tactics and mindset tactics that you teach enough?
Both are great, and I would certainly urge anyone to do Landmark and go to Tony Robbins and all that stuff, but you don't need that to be great at sales. Will it be helpful? Absolutely, positively, but you don't need that. All you need is to take a program, whether it's mine or anybody else's, that can actually teach you the fundamentals of selling so that you do walk away with more confidence. And I'm so confident, Joe, that anytime during the first 30, it's a 3-month program, anytime during the first month, if for any reason, they don't even have to tell me a reason, they're not happy with whatever is going on, send me an email at jeff@salesconfidencelab.com. I'll refund the money. No
Wow.
questions asked.
So it's a money back guarantee. So there's zero risk on the person. And it could be that they
Correct.
spent a whole month with you, learning from you, getting all these tips. And at the end of it, they're not happy with it for whatever reason. They don't have to tell you a reason. And boom, you just go and refund them the full amount back. Jeff,
That's how confident I am that they're going to love it.
that is such a great way to be able to make somebody want to jump in on this, because this is not an expensive proposition. Jeff is not asking you to spend millions of dollars, but you can make a lot of money knowing how to do sales properly. And like I said, most
Yeah,
people don't know how to do this.
Joe, I think now is
I think we lost Jeff. Team, did we lose Jeff there?
Yes, Joe, I think he had
Yeah, I
issues.
think we lost him. I think we lost
Mm.
Jeff. But in the meantime, what I want to share with everyone listening here live is that Jeff is a close friend of mine. He is a real professional. He really knows what he's doing. He's a true expert when it comes to learning sales. He's been training people for 50 years. He's not going to be doing this forever. So, if you have not taken his program yet, if you don't know who he is, check him out on LinkedIn. It's linkedin.com/in
Did you kick me out,
slash crush.
or did I just get kicked out?
No. You just went out. Like it stopped working, and so I don't know what
I was
happened.
kicked out for a few moments, but I'm back. Oh,
Okay.
so, but yeah, I was saying that now is the perfect time because people can, maybe it's too late to save your 2025 if you didn't have a good 2025, but you can certainly set up your 2026. And you talked about that. I don't work cheap. I don't. Neither do you. We're good, and we deserve to be paid well for what we do. But if somebody wanted private coaching from me, the investment it would take to get 3 hours of private coaching is all it takes for the entire 3 months.
Wow. So for the price of three
And here's
hours,
something else, Joe. If people go to that website, the landing page at salesconfidencelab.com, and if they want to register and they type in a coupon code JOE50, Joe50, they get $50 off.
no way. $50
Yeah, yeah.
off? That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, guys. JOE50. Write that down. I'll put it in the comments of the post. Check this out. So I use artificial intelligence to create a sales confidence assessment, and it asks 20 diagnostic questions. And then at the end of it, it gives you a score and tells you if you should be joining the Sales Confidence Lab. So here are the questions.
I love
Tell
that.
me, yeah, and I'll give this to you as my gift because you're such an awesome dude, and you can throw this on any website. It'll work perfectly. So when meeting with a new prospect, I ask questions about their situation before explaining my solution. Never or always. I ask questions about their situation. I'm going to say I never ask questions about their situation. I just go right into my solution. Okay, I'm comfortable telling the prospect that they're not a good fit for what I offer. Never. Of course, never. Why would I ever tell them they're not a good fit? I want to sell everybody everything.
No, no.
I establish a clear agenda and timeframes. Never. I never establish a clear agenda and timeframes. Why would I want to do that? Okay, when a client goes off topic, I redirect the conversation to B issues. I don't know how to redirect the conversation. Okay, I state my pricing without apologizing, just justify their softening language or use softening language. I have to use softening language, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, I discuss the investment in ROI before revealing specific pricing. I always discuss the investment in ROI. Okay, so that's good. When someone says that's expensive, I explore what they're comparing it to rather than defending. Never. I never do that. I turn down business because a prospect wasn't willing to pay what I'm worth. Always. If you're not willing to pay, screw you. When hearing, I need to think about it. I ask what specifically they need to think about. No, I just say, okay, goodbye. I'm comfortable with silence after asking a tough questions. I'm always comfortable with silence. When a person challenges my approach, I stay curious rather than offensive. No, I don't stay curious. I get defensive right away. I say, screw you. I can disagree with a prospect while maintaining rapport. Nope. I schedule specific text steps. Never. Why would I schedule next steps? If they want me, they should come to me. I I follow my sales process consistently, even when skipping steps. Never. I send a follow-up message within 24 hours. Always. When someone ghosts me, I have a systematic re-engagement. Okay, fine. I do. I view no as an information, not a rejection. Never. It's always a rejection. I believe my solution genuinely helps people. Always. I maintain the same energy in small projects as large ones. No, I should always have better energy by large ones. I have after a cold rejection, I can reset to the next conversation. Nope, I have to go smoke up. Okay, so there we go. So now calculate my score. It looks like, look at this, developing your, I get a 44, a 44. Wow, understand your fundamentals. The issue is knowledge, that's execution. The path forward is focused on deliberate. So I got a 4 out of 20, 12 out of 20. Okay, transform your knowledge into consistent execution. Join the Sales Confidence Lab to eliminate confidence gaps. Oh, look at that. Oh, I can download the full report here too. Okay, so let me click on access. Look at this. Magic. This is magic. So I have a whole assessment. This is unbelievable. And now we're going to hear a testimonial from our good friend Ty. Here we go. Let's listen.
I am the CEO of a custom software development company called Intersoft Associates. We focus on modernizing older and ineffective software. We've been around for 39 years. We're in our 40th year, and I thought I knew everything. We've done fine over those years. We've built a large staff. I am the primary salesman, and my team certainly interfaces with customers. And I got to tell you, I thought I knew everything. I took this course and the world opened for me. It was absolutely amazing. Uh, the, the stuff that we learned, common sense, but never really realized it. The role playing that Jeff allowed us to go through really, really, really helped. It was an amazing 12 weeks. And at the end of this, I'm after being around for so long, I literally closed more sales already, just being a novice at this new process, and I've shortened my sales cycle. I can't wait for some of my senior team to take it, and I certainly can't wait until the refresher course is offered because I will be first online. I urge you, if you deal with customers, deal with prospects, even if you don't sell, companies like MSPs, which we deal with a lot, uh, you would all certainly benefit from that. I urge you to look at it. It is amazing, and it's really, really helped us.
I love
Wow.
that.
What a great
Yeah.
testimonial. Well done.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
On your assessment, you said, "Do I have a plan for re-engaging people who are ghosted?" I taught Hi one little thing, and boom, he re-engaged with somebody. That was again by week 4.
Holy crap. That is
Yeah.
amazing. Congratulations. I love that. Do you see how quickly I was able to create that assessment for you? And so I have all these assessments that I take people through. So instead of getting them to go straight to a sales page, I take them to an assessment page, and then they take the assessment, they see how terrible they are, and then ultimately they feel the energy to kind of say, okay, I'm terrible at this, and this is why I'm terrible. This is how the problem will help me fix it. So if I'm going to send you the assessment as an email so that you have it as an HTML so that you can paste it into your landing page if you want to create a landing page for it. But if someone's not
Thank you.
ready to buy right now and they take the assessment and they see what's wrong with them. I just did this with somebody today. I have something called a 3 levers assessment to determine if you need networking, marketing, or prospecting, like which one of the 3 or how much of each one you need. And if you go to strategy.eviai.com/3levers, you can take that assessment, and then it gives you a whole PDF that explains which one you need based on the questions that you answered. And I did multiple choice questions instead of like 1 to 10. I don't know if do you like multiple choice questions better than 1 to 10? Which one you resonate better, or do you like the 1 to
Yeah, it
10
doesn't
thing?
matter to me.
Okay, so I'll make you another one that's also multiple choice questions just so that you feel good about it, because right now I have AI I could just say make multiple choice questions, add the sales confidence colors and logos and blah blah blah, and it'll go ahead and do it. But I just want you to know that I adore you. I appreciate you. I respect what you do. You're a real genius. And I am personally vouching for your program that if people sign up to this, and I see many of my clients signed up to it. I saw a couple of testimonials from my clients and my students. They will benefit tremendously, and you're getting a money-back guarantee. And if you use the code Joe50, you get $50 off. So it's a real no-brainer. So let me know in the comments if this is something that you're going to sign up for, or if you need any help or anything. I do have a tip for you. If you click your contact info on LinkedIn, you actually don't have your salesconfidencelab.com link in there. You have other links. So just a quick tip for
Oof.
you to add it to your contact info section on LinkedIn where it says websites. You can remove a different website and add that one, or you can add that as an additional other website. You can add multiple websites in there. So I recommend doing that. And
I
then
thought I had done that the other day, but thank you very much for that. Absolutely.
yeah, you added it to your about section along with your phone number and email address, but yeah, you didn't
Not the
add it.
contact section.
Not the
I
contact
got you.
section. Yeah. All right.
Fantastic, Joe. And by the way, when I'm with you, I don't feel like a genius because you are literally a genius. I feel stupid half the time, but when it comes to sales, if I have any area of genius, that might be it.
Amazing. Now that I finished the second questionnaire, I want to present it to you. This is the Sales Confidence Questionnaire, the non-salesperson guide to sales confidence. 16 questions to discover your confidence level and unlock your sales potential. So it actually asks you questions instead of doing that. I kind of like this a little bit better. When you're
Yeah.
meeting a
Okay.
prospect, what's your typical approach? I jump right in. I mention my solution. I balance asking questions, or I always answer questions first. So this kind of gets you to think a little bit more, and it kind of goes through all of them, and it breaks it down into objection handling, pricing and value, control discovery. So I'm going to fill this out without even thinking. I'm just going to kind of go through it and just pick random ones just to kind of do it quickly and just show you the result and what it looks like and how it recommends your product. And of course, this is my gift to you that you could use however you see fit. But if you were running ads,
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, exactly. I love doing this for my friends and my clients and helping them out. So if I press Get Confidence Score, it gives me a 27 confidence score, and it tells you you're facing significant confidence challenges. And the reality, the breakthrough, it gives you a score of each one of the 4. And then you can access the Sales Confidence Lab here and download your full report. And if you download the full report, you can actually see what the report looks like, which is actually a really nice text report like this. And it tells you the whole thing here and the date and everything. So this is really nice when you get on the phone with someone to kind of give them this sales confidence report.
You are awesome, man. You are awesome.
This is really good. This is a really good report. I really like this. Is version 2. Isn't this better? It even matches your brand.
Everything you do is best. You are stunningly incredible. I'm so fortunate that I got introduced to you, and I'm so honored that I call you can have the honor and privilege of calling you friend.
Well, I'm excited to seeing you fill your class. It's going to be sold out, so if you're not in it already, get in it to win it, and I will see you guys on the other side. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next video.